Good evening. If you can hear something going off in the background, it's probably my WhatsApp. I'm talking to a publisher friend right now. Um, so I thought I'd come on and do a little bit of a commentary because today I saw that Brother Alpha Boosa has put on a new video on his YouTube channel, which is great. But I thought I'd come on and talk about how GW terms and views people who are online. Is in people who are doing YouTube, people who are using their copyright and things like that, when I was at the company. So I've got to stress, this is a few years ago now, so this is between like 2016 and 2018, or 2015, 2018, so 2 or 3 years. Things may have changed in the meantime. They certainly have changed in some of their stances online. But I think when you actually hear what I've got to say about what I was told when I started using different things from the internet on my own Facebook page for my store, what the attitude was in terms of what people do on the internet. So, this won't be a very long video. This is just me talking about the impact of YouTube on the staffers at GW and how they think and how they go about, addressing it. So, the only YouTube thing I ever heard mentioned by a manager of mine when I was working for him was Duncan Rhodes, when Duncan Rhodes was a part of Warhammer TV. And he would push Warhammer TV incredibly, like he would always go at it. But every single time I had a really good interaction with a customer, it would be because, right, I would do an impression of somebody from the Emperor has a text-to-speech device, because I'm quite good at some of those voices. So I'll just slip it into conversation. And I shit you not, the brightness on their face, I don't even have an example, it happened all the time. Like, literally, like, their eyes light up and they go, "Oh my god, you watch that as well?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do. Like, I love Warhammer." And the fact that somebody from Games Workshop wearing the regalia was actually doing a voice from the show just made their day, sort of a thing. It's like, oh my god, like, they're on our side, like, they're part of us, they get us, they're hobbyists too, great, like, I've had videos done of me, they are on the internet, I've checked, right, like, there are videos of me on Twitter, with my GW stuff on, doing an impression from, one was Rogel Dawn and the other one was Caldor Drago, I mean, just messing around, because the customer's like, "Hey, can I get a video with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, fine." And they would always end up buying stuff and like having a really good time and talking about the hobby and things like that, and then leaving. It wasn't the same way for my manager though. My manager was very, very, very harsh in making sure that conversations were steered towards them buying models and were steered towards them actually going to put money in the till. And he definitely didn't like non-official things being discussed in stores. That's things like, if I brought up somebody like Tabletop Tactics, for instance, and all they do is battle reports. He was very stringent on that not being discussed in store. Things like, I used to really like Striking Scorpion. I still do. Think he's a really cool YouTuber, right? And really good for the hobby. And he was like, no, don't want that discussed in store, because it's not, they're using our products, but it's not an official Games Workshop thing. And to be fair, I don't even think, as a middle manager, I don't even think he knew why he wasn't allowed to do so, because they don't question these things. When they're told by head office, don't do this, they don't question it. They go, "Okay, yes, sir, and they get on with their lives, When I became a manager, the reason why, one of the reasons why I had to leave was because generally I'd question things like that. Because this did happen to me once when I was running my own store, well, a few times actually. The most stringent one was that I got... Now, when they say 3 strikes and out, sometimes I think, yes, not really, because the amount of verbal warnings I had when I was a manager was beyond repair. Like, I must have had 15, 16 verbal warnings. Before anyone says, well, you must have been really nasty to work with, I'm going to give you an example of one of those verbal warnings. So, I am announcing something for my store, right? So we're doing this store campaign in the store, which you're not supposed to do. Number one. So I thought, no, you're bollocks to it. It's coming up to Christmas. I want to do like a little mini campaign, 500 points. Everyone buys brand new models to bring them into the store, and they can compete in this campaign. So everyone did. Everyone bought like 500 points worth of stuff. We had about 8 or 9 people in the campaign. And the main big bad guy of this campaign were Necrons. So I went and known lost Necron models, for the store, put them in the cabinet and painted them up really nice. And because they were the main villains, I made special rules for what they were going to be able to do on the tabletop in terms of gun lines and phalanxes and things like that. Sorry, I'm really bad at ADD. If something distracts me on the side, I get really distracted. So yeah, I made rules for these Necron units. So like you have like gun lines, and you have like different things that they can do to enemies that get too close to them, things like that, because they are the big bad guys, and our store people had to work together to take them down. So, and we even had a guy who was an Astral Knight player. This is so cool, by the way. Before I go into that story, he was an Astral Knight player, and this guy actually had something. He didn't tell me what it was, but he had an illness, and he was going into hospital to get it sorted out, and it was supposedly life-threatening. Anyway, he was an Astral Knight player, so I basically shoehorned him in as the main hero of this against the Necrons. And we ended up retelling the World Engine. We ended up retelling that story. So apparently, I said, no, the World Engine's back. They do another one. And the Astral Knights, again, rise from the ashes to come and destroy this next World Engine. And it was on Christmas Eve. We finished with this big, massive, huge battle on a big piece of starship terrain. And, obviously the Astral Claws stayed there whilst everybody had to evacuate their models from the table, or they were going to be lost in the points, at the end of the game. And so the Astral Knights player stood up and said, I will hold the line. I will hold the Necrons here. Every one of my Marines will die fighting for the Emperor. All you guys need to leave. You need to go now. Get out. And it was such a rousing speech. Everybody was moving their models to the evacuation point on the tabletop, where the Thunderhawks are waiting and things like that. So everyone was getting on the Thunderhawks, and so everyone got away. And eventually we played it out where we got to the last 5 Astral Knights surrounded by Necrons, and we cut it off there and said, right, so the Astral Knights, we don't see them die, but we know that they've made this heroic sacrifice again, and they destroy the World Engine. It's just such a fucking cool moment. Anyway, when I was writing the rules for this, I basically I posted a update for the rules on my Facebook page for the store, saying, I've just been looking over the rules for the Necrons, and I'm sharing it with a Necron friend tonight. This is what we look like. And if you've ever seen the Necrons laughing in condescension, they're just there going, just laughing, whilst they're reading a cease and desist letter. I said, that's basically the codex that I'm writing for this little Necron force, and it was really funny, and I got a really good traction. Like they're just laughing. Anyway, the next day, my trainer turns up, and this is the nice trainer as well. Bear in mind, nice quote unquote. Turns up and says, "Yeah, we've had a complaint." I was, oh, what from? I said, well, somebody at HQ has seen that you've got, you're using this online. He wouldn't even say the guy's name. He knew who he was. He knew who Brother Alpha Booster was, right? He wouldn't even say his name. You're using this online resource that is not Games Workshop affiliated on your Games Workshop affiliated, webpage. I said, well, number one, it's not a webpage. It's a Facebook group. Number two, he's using our art to make his, things. Said, yeah, it doesn't matter. We can get into trouble because you're using his video when you shouldn't be. How? He's using our art, and at the start and finish of his fucking program, it says everything in this belongs to Games Workshop. He literally says that. It's right at the end. Look, it's there. I've got it on my phone. Look, it's there. Look. All of these pictures and images and all the names and things are property of Games Workshop, all rights reserved. They are our property. We're allowed to use them. No, he wouldn't hear of it. He just wouldn't hear of it. So I had to take it down. So I took it down, and he said, right, next, I hear you are running a campaign over Christmas. And I said, yes. He says, no, you can't. You're not allowed to do that. I said, well, why? Why aren't I allowed to do... Why am I not allowed to do a campaign of Christmas? And I quote, it attracts the wrong kind of people. It attracts time vampires. These are people who are going to take up all your time in the store so you can't sell models. I went, mate, they've all bought 500-point model sets to play in this campaign. What do you mean I'm not selling any models? Anyway, so I got a verbal warning. And, yeah, I went ahead with the campaign anyway. I swore everyone to secrecy. I said, look, I don't care what happens. You can play on the big board, but all of the campaign stuff is going in this file of facts, and I had it underneath the till desk, and it's not going to be out. We were originally going to put like posters and stuff up, like saying what armies were going to what planets and where. So when somebody came into the store, I could say, yeah, this is the campaign we got going. Look, all the planets that are in this star system that we're trying to fight over, and and this is Dave, and Dave, well, not Dave. Oh God, no, not Dave. Put Dave in the closet somewhere. But you'll know what I mean if you've seen previous videos. But let's go for James, because James is always in my videos. Because let's get James. He's commented on some of my videos already. And we say, look, yeah, here he is. He's playing Imperial Fist, and he's taking over the planet of Niceria here. And yeah, he's fighting the Tyranids, and Simon's got the Tyranids over there. And yeah, guys, yeah, we love it. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Imagine saying that to a young kid rather than saying, do you like Space Marines? No, you can go, look, this is how we do it. This is what the hobby is all about. Do you want to get involved? Do you want to come and conquer these worlds with us? And of course, any 13-year-old worth his salt with red blood running in his veins is going to go, yes! And he's going to get his mum's wallet and shove it into your hand, right? But in general, that is the attitude of Games Workshop towards YouTube at the time. We were told in no uncertain terms you were not to promote these things, you were not to mention these things, you were not to put them anywhere near any sort of official Games Workshop documents or sources that are online. Now, when I look at people like Arch Warhammer, I understand why Games Workshop want to make that distinction, right? They can't treat everybody differently, so they have to just do a blanket, we don't support this, right? But if you don't support this, then stop giving people free models for positive press. Simple. If you don't support YouTube and you don't want your company name to be associated with these people, then stop giving free models to people in return for good reviews. Simple, right? You can't have one without the other. You either embrace YouTube and everybody on it, right? And then you come out and say, look, we're not associated with Arch Warhammer. In fact, Arch, take Warhammer away from your name because, you're associated with us and we don't like it because, you're a bit of a racist. If that's what they think, cool. Do that then. That's fine. Be an adult. Make the distinction yourself. But what you shouldn't do is blanket everybody on YouTube as this danger to the hobby. Because I'm telling you now, the amount of people that I know and the amount of people that I spoke to when I was working at Games Workshop, most of the people that would get into the hobby newly, getting into the hobby, relied on YouTube a lot when they're getting into the hobby. For lore, for painting tips, for all sorts. The beating heart of the hobby, weirdly, is YouTube. It is. It's one of the main primal sources for getting all the things that you want out of the hobby online. And I don't agree with the overall attitude of how Games Workshop tends to look at people who have YouTube channels based around the hobby. I especially don't like the hypocrisy of them talking down about these people and not wanting anything to do with these people, but then bribing these people on the side to get better reviews for their products. I don't see... That's what it is. That's what it is. Trust me, if Games Workshop came to me and said, Dean, Northern Exile, we've had a rough past, but we know you like Grey Knights and you have, a nice little community there. Would you like to see the new Grey Knight Codex? We can send it to your house. I would say, yes, okay, yeah, fine. And I would review the Codex. But if they said to me, you have to give a positive review, I would find that incredibly hard to resist, because once you've got that foot in the door, I'm being honest with you guys, once you get that foot in the door, you're going to get all sorts of stuff for free. Yeah, once you're on the company green list, you'll fight to remain on the company green list. Because they're the ones with all the power. They're the ones who've got access to all the stuff. Right? Can you imagine how much easier your job would be every single month if you got free models and you got free codexes and things like that as a YouTuber? Oh my god, right? So I can see why people take the deal. I just wish Games Workshop wouldn't offer it. Or at least offer it to everybody. And say, look, we're going to embrace YouTube. Please come and be a guest on our Warhammer TV shows. Please come and, and we embrace you. You're part of the hobby, apart from you, Arch. Apart from you, everybody else, everyone's part of the hobby, right? Everyone's involved, right? The reason why I say that, I'm just taking the piss, by the way. I don't have any positive or negative connotations towards Arch at all. People have asked me before what I think about him, because this is the video for it. Certain political stances that he has, I don't agree with. Does that mean I don't like him? No. In fact, he seems pretty cool whenever I've heard things spoken about him, whenever he's, got in touch with people. I don't judge people by their politics, and I don't define people by their politics. I may not agree with somebody, but it doesn't mean I'm going to think they're a dick straight away, right? Do I agree with anything that happens in a Discord? No, to be honest with you, but things happen in my Discord that I'm not entirely happy with. People are people, and that is how things go. I'm sure he has other things to do with running a channel 10 times the size of mine that he can't be on Discord all the time. I'm struggling even now. I'm a gnat. I'm a tiny little thing compared to everyone else on this platform. So that is generally how Games Workshop think about the YouTuber and the Twitch streamer, the people who for my money are the quintessential money bag. What all YouTube is to get to Games Workshop, I'm going to be honest with you, is a limitless bag of money. These are people who are going to pull people into your hobby through sheer excitement and through sheer passion. Are going to pull other people to do the hobby that they love, right? That means more money in your wallet. Are there undesirables out there that you don't want to be associated with? Of course there are. Of course there are. But that doesn't mean everybody's like that. It doesn't mean everyone should be tarred with the same brush. The amount of times I'd be in a meeting, training, whether we were in Leeds or Nottingham or wherever, right? In the store I was working, wherever, and YouTube was brought up or somebody was brought up, and you'd get eye rolls. You'd get visible eye rolls from other managers, like they don't enjoy it. And I'd sit there thinking, all of you little fucktards, I bet you're all sitting there and you go home on the train tonight watching Brother Alpha Booster and you're wanking yourself off under the porter tray. You know what I mean? You love it. Don't even tell me you don't love it. Of course you do. Of course you do. Because if you're insane and you're not a sane human being, then you might not like Brother Alpha Booster's stuff. Fair enough. But if you like the hobby and you like the stories that are involved in the hobby, you like Brother Alpha Booster. Don't tell me you don't. Right? What a load of nonsense. What a load of nonsense. And maybe one or two, I'll give you that, right? In a room of 10, there's bound to be an au contraire. So maybe one or two, right, who don't like it genuinely. But the rest, fuck off. Right? Don't be nodding your heads. Oh God, no, quite, yes. Everyone should just subscribe to Warhammer TV. It's far superior product, yeah. No, mate, no, it's not. It's a failing product. It's terrible. Doesn't work. You're not Marvel. You're just Games Workshop, and all you do is sell piddly little fucking plastic miniatures. Know your role, know your place, stick to your lane, and shut the fuck up, essentially. Right? That's the only thing I have to say about YouTube and the way it's viewed online. Right? It's disparaging. They don't give a shit. They'll never give a shit. And in fact, they see some of you as genuinely harmful to the hobby. Which is as far from the truth as I think you could get. But I think it's a symptom of the modern world as well. I think it's a symptom of the modern world as well. In that you're just going to get it that way. I'm afraid you're going to get people coming in and seeing one person being a bad actor or two people being a bad actor in a full on set, and they're just going to say everybody's like that. We can't associate with these people. That's it. It's wrong. But that's just how it is, I'm afraid. That is me, by the way. I'm going to have to go because somebody's calling me. But, busy time of year, apparently, for writers near Christmas. Who would have thought? Anyway, guys, love you lots. Speak to you next time, and have a good one.